The three-row SUV market has become extremely popular. Actually, almost every single brand offers something in this category. But Honda has done very well with the 2026 Honda Pilot. There are some changes to all 6 trim levels of the Honda Pilot. One of the things you'll note right away is a larger front grille and a new front fascia. You'll also note the boxier front end, but you're still gaining that Honda safety sense, which is standard across the lineup, and we'll talk about that more in the drive portion. Also, the camera has a squirter on it to keep it clean, both front and rear. Not all the competitors have that. There are 2 new exterior colors, Solar Silver and Smoke Blue, and this is the Solar Silver vehicle. In the interior, it's going to impress you. The 6 trim levels are Sport, EXL, Trail Sport, Touring, Elite, and Black Edition. This is the Elite, and that is our test vehicle. Across the full Honda lineup is a 3.5-liter V6 engine with 285 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque, backed by a 10-speed automatic transmission. The Trail Sport gets 18 miles per gallon in the city and 23 on the highway, and our all-wheel drive test vehicle gets 19 miles per gallon in the city and 25 on the highway. It is also available in front-wheel drive. 0 to 60 time is 6.9 seconds. Towing capacity with the all-wheel drive is 5,000 pounds. With the front-wheel drive, it is 3,500 pounds. Touring and Elite trims get 20-inch alloy wheels with all-season Bridgestone tires. If you choose the Pilot Trail Sport, it has a revised suspension with a 1-inch lift, plus underbody steel skid plates, all-terrain tires, a hill descent control system, a specially tuned all-wheel drive system with a trail driving mode. They also have a new color for this year, ash green metallic. The Honda Pilot has black roof rails, and it has a gigantic glass roof, which is available on the higher trim levels. The warranty is 3 years, 36,000 miles, and the powertrain is 5 years, 60,000 miles, and there is 1 year of complimentary maintenance. What's new on the inside? Well, there's some big changes. Let's start off with the interior look. First thing you're going to notice is some new interior colors and some suede material mixed in with leather materials. Aniline seating leather is optional on the higher trim levels. That is just the center cushion and the back. They've got quilted shoulder areas here, which are really nice, also suede material. Leather wrapped steering wheel. Two-tone interior throughout is very modern, very clean, and very appealing. One of the big improvements, a 12.3-inch center screen is standard across the lineup, so that's bigger than last year, and also the gauge cluster is larger, just a little over 10 inches, but it's all digital gauges across the full lineup, and that is a major plus because this is what consumers want. Some other standard features include Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. They've really added those little features that consumers want, and our test vehicle has a ton of options, and we'll cover them as we go into the drive portion. The EXL and the higher trims have heated leather seats, wireless phone charging, a power liftgate, and one-touch second row seats. The Touring, Elite, and Black Edition trims come with premium leather upholstery, heated front and rear seats, a 12-speaker Bose sound system, and panoramic sunroof. And the Trail Sport is standard with heated outboard rear seats. In the second row, there are 2 captain's chairs. There is a third seating option available. We have removed this center console because it is removable, and that's on every trim level except for Trail Sport, and it stores in the back, and we'll show you that in just a second. What you do have is 3-stage heated seats, additional vents, 2 USB-C charge ports back here, and full climate control, which is nice. So without the center console here, you have a nice little pass-through, which is great for kids. Also, the glass roof comes about halfway past the second row seating. Pockets behind each of the doors, and what not all the competitors have, screens for the second row, which is really important if you got children. One really nice feature, when the center console is in, you do have 2 cup holders with that seat folded, and there's more storage in the door and more cup holders because everybody wants to bring at least 1 or 2 items with them. One nice little feature that you don't see on all the competitors is there is an additional pocket here just below the headrest. You can put your phone in there, you can put cords in there, whatever you need to do. Honda was first to market with the one-touch foldable second row seat to access the third row. Press this button and the seat goes out of the way. In the third row, there's plenty of room for adults. My co-driver is 6 foot 5 inches and he had no problem getting back here, which means the third row is not the penalty box. In addition, you've got 2 cup holders, USB-C charge ports, and vents so that you can get the air back here too, because sometimes in the third row it gets a little stuffy. Well, Honda has a solution for that. They've got a vent built in here. You can see out the windows, It's actually a really nice, comfortable space. And of course you can put children back here because this is where they're gonna wanna be. Second and third row have privacy glass as well. Coming around to the back, we have this upper wing, and there is a camera that has a washer on it, which is again, a very important feature that not every competitor has. I would like to see the wiper blade tucked up underneath the next time they do a redesign. LED taillights, Pilot across the back, very nicely done. Elite, which is the trim level, all-wheel drive, very nice and clean. Cargo space is 22 cubic feet of storage. Underneath this cover, this is where you hide the center console that folds up and is placed on here, and there's a tether to hold it down. Underneath that area is a spare tire which can be accessed from underneath, but the attachment mount is down here. Tons of great places to store things. That center seat storage is a great idea, and nobody else has that. One nice feature is this proximity key. So you press the button, and when you walk away and the key is in your pocket, the rear power tailgate will close. Power tailgate is standard, as well as roof rails on this vehicle. There's also a power outlet here, which is great for tailgating. Folding down the 60/40 third row, you're now at 60 cubic feet of storage. Folding down the second row can be done a couple of different ways. Press the button here on the back of each seat, and the seat can fold out of the way, or lift up on the lever if you just want the seats folded, and then you're at 87 cubic feet of storage, which is quite a bit and very competitive with that long list of competitors. First thing I do when I get in a vehicle and this thing stops when I stop is shut off the start-stop technology, which there is a button here for that. Thank you, Honda. So we're here in Southern California, and I have the opportunity to take this on some of the back roads around Julian, California. If you haven't been out this way, there's a very famous place called Julian Pie. One of the important things is that you get an opportunity to see this vehicle, work with this vehicle in the wild, see how it handles. The steering is been improved for 2026. We were told that. I could tell right away going into the corners that it didn't feel as maybe yawing, in other words, from side to side, and feeling that it's more precise, and that's what they told us it would be. Because this is a mid-cycle refresh, there's a lot of things that have not changed, so if you like the Pilot in the past, you will like what they've done this year. They've done some nice details, some nice modern touches to compete with some of the competitors. One of the things that we were told is the materials inside. There's some suede materials mixed in with aniline leather in our Elite trim that we're test driving today. A lot of soft surfaces, which I think is important. This is not real wood on the door. It's a picture of wood, but the materials around it are really nice. It is not full aniline leather, so that is just the cushion where your bottom is and your back. Everything else is going to be what they call vegan leather, which is a synthetic product, and you can take it from there. But as far as comfort, the driver's seat was fantastic. It has lumbar, it has adjustability, so I can adjust the seat however I'd like. On the passenger side, because my co-driver Henry Payne from the Detroit News, who's over there now,
Hello.
he got to drive first, and so I was sitting in the passenger seat. I was not a fan that there was no lumbar. To me, that is a negative. But a vehicle in this price point between $40,000 to $56,000, and we'll talk about some of the pricing in a second, you should be able to have lumbar. We talked to one of the product planners, and they said they're planning to put that in the future. It depends how important that is for your passenger. It's just a little flatter over there. But the seat materials are beautiful. There's new interior materials as well. I like the fact that they've really looked at what customers want. They want a more modern, cleaner feeling interior. Now, some big pluses for 2026 is the new screen, 12.3 inches. This screen is Google based. It's got standard Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is extremely important. The standard speaker system is 8 speakers, but you can get the upgraded Bose audio, which we have in our test vehicle, and great audio quality, of course. Also, improved screen on the digital cluster in front of you. Standard across the lineup is a little over 10 inches for the digital cluster, which is standard, and of course the larger center screen. So these are all pluses for this vehicle. It's what they call in our business a mid-cycle refresh. It's not a complete redo. We'll be probably seeing that in a couple of years based on how a lot of these brands operate. They'll show us something that's been updated, and then we'll see a major change coming in 2 or 3 years depending upon the company. Further down, you've got a real button for audio, which I appreciate. Start stop button. Your emergency light is right here in the middle. I think it's very nice to be able to find that when you need it. Hopefully you don't. Heated and ventilated seats, which is very nice, and heated steering wheel, of course. Climate control is separate, which I prefer. Further down, tons and tons of storage. Places for cup holders in the doors, in the center. And they really thought about storage in this car because we all take stuff or junk into our vehicle and we leave it in our vehicle, whether it be sunglasses, a box of Kleenex, your wallet, whatever it might be. And then in front of the passenger side, there is a really nice little area for putting extra stuff. And I think that's a nice little addition. But that's a Pilot, pretty much a standard Honda item these days. They're thinking about people putting things in their car and leaving them in your car. And that could be anything from a pacifier to your wallet to your sunglasses, whatever it might be. Big glove box as usual. Center console is nice, it's soft. Inside is a very deep well, which is also very nice. The shifter is a flush shifter, which is next to the cup holders. I prefer a lever, but everyone's kind of going to the flush shifter, you know, park, reverse, drive, neutral, same. I don't know, it's a personal thing, you get used to it. It's not like I don't like it, I just prefer the lever. You've got your drive modes. Now this, you can see the drive mode change in front of me. That will be Sport, Normal, Eco, Snow, Trail, Sand, and Tow. And you just cycle right through that. I think normal is perfectly fine for everyday driving. You're going to use Eco on a highway, and you probably won't use Sport too often unless you really have to have that spirited drive. But this is a Honda Pilot. It's a 3-row SUV, and it's designed for getting you places. It's not a performance vehicle, and you're certainly not going to put it on the track. Behind that is start-stop technology and hill descent, which are things that you may or may not like or use, but it's really easy to access it, and that's the most important factor. Parking brake and brake hold. I like the brake hold. That's when you stop at a light, take your foot off the brake, the vehicle doesn't roll. Some people like it, some don't. Personally, I like it. You can put down in the comments below what you think. Another change for 2026 is there used to be a USB-A and a USB-C connection. It's now just 2 USB-Cs and your 12-volt outlet for a radar detector or whatever you want to plug in. Overall, I'm really liking the feel of this vehicle. Huge piece of glass, which is on the higher trim levels. I personally like to have a glass roof. I don't always have it open, but it's nice to bring the light inside. It just makes you feel awake. But overall, the controls are nice. Memory seating on the driver's side, nothing on the passenger side, and all of your normal controls are on the door. All the Honda Sense safety features are standard. So when you're looking at the competitors, most of them are included. Some do have you pay up for those additional safety features. Honda has included all of it standard. You've got a lot of standard features in this car, and I think that's really important across the full lineup. No matter what trim you're buying, you're going to get safety, and I think that's the most important thing when you own a 3-row SUV, because you're transporting people. There are some changes that are mostly on the interior and exterior features, but I like what they've done. I like the bigger screen. Not everybody feels that way, but I mean, you can go into the different settings and get to what you need. Easy to use, and I think that's why Pilot has been such a big success. All right, let's go through my pros and cons. We'll talk about the price and the very long competitor list. Don't forget that all the car news is on Car Coach Reports, and our radio show, The Drive, is syndicated across the country, or you can find it on YouTube at The Drive Car Show. The prices for the 2026 Honda Pilot start at $43,690 and go to the top trim level, which is the Elite, our test vehicle, at $56,490. There are some pros and cons when it comes to the Honda Pilot. First off, I love the ride quality. The improved handling is great. The interior materials are excellent, and everything about the vehicle is very easy to use and extremely intuitive, and plenty of space for people's things. On the negative side, I wish there was lumbar on the passenger side and some additional adjustments to make it more comfortable, and I'd also like to see that rear wiper blade tucked up underneath the wing. We'll probably see that in a new redesign. We're also hoping to have a hybrid available in the future. The competitor list, well, that's long, and I highly suggest you test drive every single vehicle and check with your insurance agent before making a final decision. That includes the Kia Telluride, the Ford Explorer, Volkswagen Atlas, Hyundai Palisade, which just won the North American SUV of the Year, the Toyota Grand Highlander, Chevy Traverse, GMC Acadia, Subaru Ascent, Nissan Pathfinder, Mazda CX-90, and the Dodge Durango. Overall, the 2026 Honda Pilot has some great improvements, not just on the interior, but also on the exterior, which makes this a very popular choice. There's more information in the description below. If you'd like to support our channel, you can buy me a cup of coffee. I'm Lauren Fix. Thanks so much for watching.